Today marks the day of my first ever ride review for the channel. Clinton, the owner of Elliott Brothers Motorcycles in Bendigo, has generously made available a brand new Honda CB1000R for a test ride and ride review. I just want to say a big thank you to both Clinton and Clinton's sales manager Mark for making this happen. You guys are awesome. Elliott Brothers sells Honda and Kawasaki motorcycles, as well as a range of Husqvarna, Toro and Greenfield mowers and related power equipment. They also do parts and accessories and even sell Krieger gear if you're looking for some of their bags. If you're in the area, call in and say g'day and let them know you appreciate them supporting the channel. Today I'm going to be riding the Honda CB1000R. The CB1000R is one of 3 bikes in Honda's Neo Sports Cafe lineup. The other 2 bikes being the Honda CB650R and the Honda CB300R. Let's see what the Honda CB1000R has to offer. Okay, well, I've just taken delivery, or just picked up the Honda CB1000R from my good friends here at Elliott Brothers in Bendigo, and today I'm going to be test riding the CB1000R and let you know what I think of it. Mark, the sales manager, has just wheeled the bike out for me and started it up, and this is going to be my first impression of what it's like to ride a CB1000. Now, the first thing I noticed, it looks like a short bike and taller. It's actually taller than I was expecting, and surprisingly it feels more it's interesting. It feels roomy lengthwise, like I'm stretched out a little bit. Adjust my mirrors. Yeah, it's surprising actually. Where's my indicators there? It's surprising. From seat to handlebars feels very roomy for my height. I'm at 6'1". First impressions, from seat to handlebars feels roomier than I was expecting. From seat to pegs feels tighter than I was expecting. Now I'm just going to ease my way into this bike. Let it warm up a little bit. Get used to where everything is. But I can already instantly feel that she's certainly got a lot more power than my NC750X. And I'm just in standard mode. The instruments actually quite like the display and the layout. I'm not sure how much wind noise you're going to get from my setup. Hopefully the mic will override being closer to my mouth a bit of the wind. It is a pretty windy day today. Now, Elliott Brothers have kindly set up this test ride for me on this particular bike. Now, I did let people know I was going to be riding it, and I thought it was the 2021 model, but they haven't arrived yet. Everything's been delayed, so this is actually it's a brand new bike, but it's a MY19 is the model. So I'm sorry if I misled people with my post saying I was going to be riding a 2021. This is a MY19 motorcycle. So just the initial feeling of what it's like to ride in town, it's quite manageable, I think. Yeah, I'm not naturally I'm going to take a little bit of time to get adjusted to it, because it's different to the bike I'm currently riding. So far everything feels very natural. I do notice that my legs are tucked up, and I will take a shot of what I look like from the side, and I'm curious to see how it looks compared to my prediction of how I would look on it. I'm currently in the standard mode. It has 3 modes plus a user setting, which is standard, sport and rain. Once I get comfortable with the bike, I'll start playing with the modes. It feels very well balanced coming up to the lights here, and at 6'1" I'm easily flat-footing on the ground here, so I think someone 5'9" shouldn't have a problem on this bike, I'd imagine. Yeah, I can feel this is going to be a bit of a fun bike to ride already. Alright, we'll do let's try a U-turn here. Piece of cake. Super easy. To me, the CB1000R is a cross between an old school sports bike and a cafe racer. The styling is futuristic to my eye, and I really like the inclusion of items like the single-sided swing arm, naked single round headlight and big piston forks. Hanging off those 43mm inverted forks are radially mounted Tokico brake calipers grabbing 310mm discs, and a single 256mm disc is fitted to the rear. The front suspension has preload, compression and rebound damping adjustability, and the single rear shock can only be adjusted for preload and rebound damping. The seat is well shaped and feels comfortable for someone my height, 6'1", and the seat height at 830mm allows me to comfortably flat foot the bike with a bend in my knee. The wheels are 17-inch front and rear and wear a 120/70 on the front and a 190/55 on the rear. The fuel tank size is 4.2 US gallons, 16.3 litres. Fuel economy is 42 miles per gallon, 5.66 litres per 100 kilometres, and the range to empty equates to 179 miles, or 288 kilometres. The bike weighs in at 467 pounds, 211 kilograms, and the engine has a capacity of 998 cc's and is liquid cooled. Also to be noted is the fitment of LED lighting all round. When it comes to power figures, 143 horsepower at 10,500 RPM and 77 foot-pound of torque, 104 Newton meters, at 8,250 RPM. There are 4 ride modes: Standard, Sport, Rain and User. In the User mode, the rider can also adjust torque control, engine braking and power levels. Torque control is Honda's term for traction control. Rain mode employs the lowest power setting, medium engine braking and high torque control. Standard mode reduces power output in first and second gears and uses a power curve that sits just below that of Sport mode. And Standard mode also allows for small rear wheel slides and the front wheel leaving the ground. Had I known that Honda had my back, I might have been tempted to explore this a little more on my ride. There was an awful lot of wind noise on the highway, so I thought I'll just pull over and share some thoughts on the highway part of the test. Highway speeds, not a problem at all. Even though it's a naked bike, you're canted forward enough so that you're leaning into the wind basically, and it's quite comfortable, and I didn't miss having a fairing, and I was going into a pretty stiff headwind, so that was good. Engine vibrations, There was minor in sixth gear at 100 kilometres an hour, which is about 62 miles an hour. There was very minor engine vibrations, but honestly, I had to go looking for them to find them. So I would say vibrations is not an issue at highway speeds, at legal highway speeds at least. The seat comfort on the highway was, no problems at all. I found it very comfortable compared to my bike, especially. Certainly more comfortable than my NC750X, and I feel I could spend a fair bit of time on that seat. Body position wise, my legs, they are more tucked up than I'm used to on my current bike, but I've had sports bikes before, and the seat to peg ratio is a little tucked, but honestly it didn't worry me. It was quite fine. Again, it's only if I thought about it and went looking for issues of comfort. It's totally fine. So it's a sports bike wearing futuristic cafe racer styling, and I think that's a good way to describe it. And when you're sitting on it, when you're riding, it does feel like a sport bike. But so far I'm very impressed with the bike, and what did surprise me actually is how tractable the engine is. Coming out of town there, I was in fifth gear, went through some roadworks, and it was 40 kilometres an hour, and I just rolled on in fifth gear at 40 kilometres an hour. I didn't realise I was in fifth actually. I thought I was in a lower gear. I think it's because being an inline four-cylinder, it revs higher than say a parallel twin, and I must have subconsciously felt I was in a lower gear, but I was in fifth, rolled on without realising it, and it just rolled on like it was nothing. It was easy, smooth, just pulled away cleanly. I want to see in sixth gear where it will pull away cleanly from, because I've got a feeling it'll pull pretty clean from down low, which is surprising to me because I was expecting it to be more horsepowery, if you like, so not a lot of torque, but it seems to have all the torque in the world. And I've just been riding in standard mode so far, so once I flick it into sport mode, I think it's going to be quite a weapon, really. Alright, let's give the twisties a bit of a go. I'm just pulling over and doing some of these talks because the wind noise, I'm just worried that there's so much wind noise. It's a pretty windy day that you might not be able to hear what I'm saying. The other thing is too, engine note's got a very nice engine sound, which once you get on the highway you can't really hear it because of all the wind, but it's pretty good. So who would enjoy this bike? Well, I think it's suitable for a wide range of riders and riding ages. I wouldn't recommend it as a beginner's bike. It's more for experienced riders looking to move up to a more powerful motorcycle, and it could also be good for returning riders, but only if the returning rider has experience riding more performance-oriented machinery and hasn't been away from motorcycling for too long. There's enough comfort for mature riders like myself to still enjoy throwing a leg over, and younger, more pliable riders will really enjoy what this bike has to offer. And believe me, it offers a lot. Okay, now I'm doing 40 kilometres an hour in sixth gear. Let's wind on and see what happens. Not a problem. You could easily just spend all your time in sixth gear, I think, because it's got plenty of pull and accelerates cleanly, smoothly, no hiccups. And I will convert what 40 kilometres an hour is to miles for my American friends. But 60 kilometres an hour is about 37 miles an hour. So, and so then I thought, okay, I tried 6 at 40 k's an hour. Clean as can.
It still pulled away cleanly.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it is.
It's real. The fueling's really good.
The fueling's good.
Yeah.
The gearing's quite a lot shorter than the 5-blade. Because I noticed it. 100 k's an hour in sixth gear, is pulling over 4,500.
Yeah.
On a 5-blade, that would be about 4,000. So it is geared shorter.
Okay, because I kept. Okay, because I kept hearing the revs and thinking, it's because I'm not used to an inline 4. Yeah. But it is actually geared a little bit lower.
Than the 5-blade. And it's a 2012 to 2016 5-blade engine.
Okay.
Different transmission.
Okay. Okay. It's hard to imagine anyone complaining that this bike doesn't have enough horsepower or braking power for that matter. Although there's plenty of power to keep more enthusiastic riders entertained, the CB1000R can still be ridden in an approachable and city-friendly manner when the need arises. The stock exhaust produces a really nice deep tone without being loud, but is muted by wind noise at highway speeds, unless you're accelerating, that is. When you're accelerating, everything comes alive. It's a superb mix of induction noise, building revs and exhaust note. Let me assure you, the cockpit is a very nice place to be when all this is happening. Righto, now would I buy this bike? I've thought about this a lot, and even at my mature age, I can see myself owning a CB1000R. Could it replace my daily driver? You know what, it's darn close. I could easily see the CB1000R serving all my round town duties, as well as some spirited weekend and several hour highway rides. But it would change the way I ride. Where I currently seek out more adventure-oriented excursions on my NC750X, I'd be swapping them for more winding and twisting roads. To satisfy both urges, I'd need to have two bikes. So at the moment, the CB1000R would have to be a second bike. But it's not inconceivable that I might change my mind on that, as I could see myself being quite happy with the type of riding the CB1000R could provide. I think the suspension on the CB1000R strikes a good balance of stiffness and compliance. Bumpy country roads will amplify the feeling of stiffness, but it never gets uncomfortable. And that same stiffness is appreciated when you're giving the front brake lever a good squeeze. The gearbox is nice and slick, and the slipper assist clutch lever action is smooth and predictable, although I did notice it to be slightly heavier in action than the NC750X. Nothing to be concerned about though, as it's very easy to hold in when sitting at the traffic lights. I found the seat to be comfortable for the hour or so that I had the bike, and it certainly is a lot more comfortable than my own NC750X, as I was reminded of on my hour-and-a-half ride home from the test ride. The lack of wind protection wasn't really an issue for me, as the riding position cants you forward leaning into the wind, and the airflow is clean and free of buffeting. I didn't give the engine a really good workout for two reasons. Number one, the bike was still being run in, and I was advised to give it no more than 2/3 revs, a request I was very happy to respect and comply with. And two, I quickly ran out of road and speed limits when giving the bike a squirt in the first few gears. With the Australian speed limits and restrictions, there's no way I'd be able to legally explore the CB1000R's true potential on Australian roads. The track is the only place I'd feel comfortable doing that. Now, would I take the CB1000R to the track? Yes, I would for a bit of fun, but I wouldn't class it as a track bike. The CB1000R is a very easy bike to live with. The competent handling chassis, superb engine performance, excellent torque down low, and the exceptionally competent brakes really serve, I believe, to make this a safer bike to ride. So much drive out the corners, which is fantastic. You don't have to be wringing its neck to get the most out of this thing, not at all. Having oodles of reserve when it comes to braking and handling, combined with the excellent electronics package, really gives you the edge and peace of mind in emergency situations when you need to swerve or stop or rapidly wash off speed. Although delayed, the new 2021 CB1000R shouldn't be too far away. If I was waiting for a 2021 model, I'd have my eye on the black edition, although I don't know if we'll be getting that model in Australia. New for 2021 CB1000Rs are a redesigned backward slanting headlight with horseshoe-shaped daytime running light. The radiator shroud has had a subtle redesign, as has the anodized airbox cover. Also new is self-cancelling turn signals. The 998cc inline-4 engine is relatively unchanged. The PGM fuel injection settings were updated to help meet Euro 5 standards, at the same time smoothing power delivery and response, most noticeably in the 6,000 to 8,000 rev range. Along with the new colour TFT display, the 2021 CB1000R also receives a new Honda smartphone voice control system which connects the bike to smartphones and Bluetooth-compatible headsets. Honda also adds a USB socket under the seat for charging phones. For 2021, the Black Edition CB1000R comes with deep graphite black paint, several blacked out components, a quick shifter and a machined CB logo. And the regular CB1000R gets 3 colour options: Candy Chromosphere Red, Matte Ballistic Black Metallic, and Matte Beta Silver Metallic. But I'm yet to learn the colours that will be available in Australia or when the new CB1000R may be coming. Now, should you wait for a 2021 model or buy the current version? If you can get a really good deal on a current CB1000R, I'd personally be tempted to take that offer, as the power figures and brakes aren't changing, and the 2021 changes are mostly cosmetic. The new TFT display would be nice, but I also found the current display to be quite pleasing. Although, having said that, the Black Edition does look rather tasty. With all that said, what are my final thoughts on the CB1000R? Well, I'm feeling like I really want to ride the bike again, and that can only be a good thing. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed my first ever ride review and look at the Honda CB1000R. I'm working hard to try and get access to the bikes I really want to test ride. If you'd like to see more ride reviews like this one, let me know by leaving a like and a sub if you haven't already subscribed. If you've made it this far, thanks heaps for watching today, and hopefully I'll see you all again in my next video. Bye for now.